This is Peter Summit of Crashing Wayward, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast. The Brutally Delicious podcast.
Nina usually forgets, so I'll do it.
Yeah, it's my fault. I'm on this podcast to be the scapegoat.
I'm the brains behind the outfit.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I say the same thing about my band.
There you go. So you feel where I'm coming from. Then it's the pressure's real. The struggle is very real.
Oh, totally.
It is. Welcome to our super professional show, which you can probably sort of tap into immediately. But yeah. So here is Peter from the band Crashing Wayward, which I gotta say was my favorite of today's batch of bands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I should be mummying, taking care of my child, and I'm like, look at a screen, little boy, because mummy's got musicians.
Yeah.
So
That's you got to have mommy time, So
Right.
I appreciate you being here.
I can jungle. It's
Yeah.
You want to take the lead, Rena?
Yeah, sure. Like, how's your day been, Peter?
Good. I woke up. I did a little bit of side work, and here I am. Just kind of like a little morning with I kind of cut back on coffee, so I'm now doing matcha. So
You're on that route. Gotcha.
Is that working out?
Yeah, actually, I feel better.
Really?
Yeah, I actually do. I feel a lot better than coffee. I think I'm just too anxious. And I have always kind of like dealt with a little like depression throughout my life. So the added anxiety I don't need.
Yeah.
So that was the main
I
reason.
100% agree with you, and I even identify with it, but that's still something I haven't been able to do. I'm on, the second pot here this morning talking to people. That's a tough one. Cigarettes went, everything went, but coffee is
right. You got to have
Coffee
a
is poison. Like, it truly is.
fuck off, Rena.
bite.
Well, I'm the terrible vegetarian making him feel bad anyways about
Okay.
like I don't judge, but like if you feel like shit while you're like shoving sentient corpses of sentient beings into your body, maybe
Hold on. Weren't you just telling me about eating livers?
I said that's the one thing I miss.
Oh.
Is liver. Yeah.
Right, sorry.
Eating liver.
Oh, yeah.
But it's crazy. But yeah, the coffee thing, I completely get. Yeah, I have this. I'm overly sensitive to caffeine, so I literally think it's fucking poison because it makes me feel so bad. Gives
Right.
me like arrhythmia and all these things,
Oh,
and then
totally.
it also smells like shit to me. Probably
Yeah.
because like my body is like, don't go near that stuff. It's gonna kill you. Kind of thing.
Definitely. I was definitely was having a lot of that arrhythmia, and the anxiety. So the matcha, it's like a much slower release, and you got your antioxidants, and so I'm just feeling better in the gut as well too. So
Good for you.
There you go.
Sorry, we're off on a tangent already, but
no, it's all good.
Like, we can always talk about how it was in the studio, but where are your fans going to find out about your relationship to coffee?
Yeah, totally. My bass player Carl will like totally like be he's like black coffee.
see, I like your bass player already. We could be buds.
Yeah. Right.
Peter,
So
not so
I'm
much,
like
but-
super LA hipster matcha, and he's like super LA hipster coffee.
Nice.
So
So let's talk about Crashing Wayward.
No, we're not. No, we're only moving on to tea now, Bruce.
We're
That's
moving on
what
to
we're doing. No, hold that thought, dude. No, but it's something. If you are truly into the whole hipster antioxidant like health benefits, white tea is where you want to be at. That's where the most antioxidants are. That's what is like the best for you, and still has some caffeine in it, but like green and white tea. So go down that road.
It might
Now
sound
Bruce.
lame.
yeah.
You sound lame, but you're old, so it's okay.
Well, I do drink a lot of hot tea, especially the week leading into shows. And if I do have multiple shows back to back, that's all I'm drinking is hot tea with Manuka honey and lemon. And I prefer mint because it's mentholated. So
Right.
if the hotter the better, I can just like breathe it in. So there's a little regimen there.
Yeah,
Free
absolutely.
Yeah. And there was, I can't remember from what band was that guy who talked about that tea that we as vocalists would appreciate, and it was called the throat coat.
Throat coat, yes.
Oh
Throat
yeah,
coat.
yeah.
I remember
Uh-huh.
that. Like, if because you said like building up to shows, that's what you do. Manuka honey, amazing. Lemon, amazing. But maybe give that one a go too. Like, I was looking into it, but I would have to order it because I'm here in Finland and they don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do have some throat coat. It does have a little bit of like a filmy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if I'm really like feel like I need that extra film, I'm going to go with the throat coat.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So
I was preaching to the choir already. God damn it. Okay, Bruce. Ask your music related questions then.
Well, I mean, I guess we are here to talk about Crashing Wayward. Peter didn't come here to talk about white tea or whatever kind of you're talking about.
He's just pissy now because, like, in the episode before this, I gave him a little bit of shit.
She gave me a lot of shit.
He's trying to just, clap back now. But yeah.
So, Crashing Wayward from Las Vegas. Now that your record is out, how do you feel about it? Now, what's been the response to it so far?
So far, knock on wood, it's been really amazing. Everything I'm kind of hearing about it right now has been really positive. Been getting some really amazing reviews. Vegas 411, a very nice magazine out here in Vegas, has claimed us as Vegas's new favorite band.
Oh, wow.
So that's really awesome. I think we're kind of like a band that we're a hard rock band, we're a modern rock band, but we're even so much more than that. It's, artistic and alternative kind of flavors and tones to it.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to pinpoint us as to what exactly we are. I mean, so generically, we're going to default to a rock band,
Right.
But I think we're kind of resonating with a lot of people because we have so many different kind of sounds that relate to people in different ways. So yeah, the reviews and the responses so far have been awesome. It feels surreal to finally have the album out. So it's brand new to me again as well. So yeah, I'll be driving, I'll be listening to it like, who is this? Awesome.
I'm going to jump right into it. So, because Reno yelled at me earlier for not talking about this, but record is written and it deals with intolerance, mental health, suicide, love, and loss. Let's dive right into that. Tell us about that and how that worked out.
So, I've been in previous bands and I've been in a lot of bands that were, I've done the party hard rock kind of thing, and it's all about going out with your boys and drinking and partying. And I'm a bit older now and I don't do any of those things. So all I can write about is the stuff that relates to me. And I feel like it's what relates to a lot of people. I think we all know somebody that deals with depression, as we've talked about. I've struggled with that my whole life. Intolerance. I come from a very inclusive family, so stuff that's happening, a very diverse family, so inclusion is something that touches home for me because anything that's happening throughout the world that is non-inclusive directly affects me and my family. Suicide, during COVID, that's actually was Tilly. The song Tilly was inspired by somebody within our circle that took her own life due to abuse in her relationship and stuff. So I really like to try to write stuff that is speaking to people, but I don't want it to be in a kind of just like downer kind of way. I want it to be more inspiring and uplift, I think like the Smiths, I think Morrissey is so melancholy and shoegazing, but Johnny Marr with his guitar is so happy and joyful.
Right.
So it gives that music a different like tone and feel to it, but I don't want to be like Morrissey and shoegaze. I want to be like uplifts and, bring some melody and some, anthemic tones to it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Morrissey kind of drank the Kool-Aid anyway, so
Yes.
there are more ways to not want to be
Yeah.
like that dude. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I get it. I get it. And that's like really, really heavy stuff that you guys
Yeah.
are diving into with that album. And I'm sorry to hear you have to deal with depression, but have you been able to sort of turn it into an asset in a way? Like, that at least for me, who also has cyclic depression and, has had to come to terms with the fact that it's always going to be there, like,
Yeah.
that getting past the thought that this is the last time and now life is going to be completely different from now on, I think is like a bigger burden to carry than the knowledge of, or like the disappointment, because it never is the last time. Something
Right.
is, going to bring it back. So have you been able to sort of manage it in a way that at least at times you can sort of derive from that state of being into your music?
So I have a hard time. It's boredom. Boredom really kind of, if I'm not swimming and I'm not moving and I'm not creating, then that depression kind of sets in. That gives kind of like a narration within my head. You're not doing enough. You're not, good enough, and this and that. So for me, it's always about creating. So as soon as I'm thankful within this band that we're constantly writing. So I'm constantly working on new stuff in that, and those are such incredible highs when I do write a song and it is completed. But as soon as one's done, it's like, okay, what's next? What am I going to do? And especially with the show. And I had this conversation with my brother a week ago, and why we're talking about musicians who had committed suicide or struggle with addiction and this and that. It's because they're constantly chasing that adrenaline and that high. I know for me, that's nothing greater in this world than performing and creating. So if I'm not doing that, then it kind of starts to set in for me. And it's hard if I have a very good support, system. My family is amazing and everything. Sometimes it's hard if you're with somebody or around somebody who doesn't really understand depression. It's just something I've always had. I've never taken, I did take medication for it in my youth, and it just was not for me at all. So I've always stayed off it. And the best thing for me is just to keep, like I said, keep creating. And I've kind of like learned to live with it. I just don't believe in kind of like the medications unless it's absolutely necessary. And like alternative stuff, of course, like a lot of people are indulging in the earthly libations and stuff, to deal with it, which is, I think, a much better route to go. But yeah, it's kind of like
not to dance around it. We're talking about mushrooms and
absolutely, yes,
yeah.
yeah. And
Which I
tinctures,
think it's like a really, really interesting topic, because it's only now sort of bubbling under, breaking through the surface, like, in the sort of mainstream medical approach to depression, that, hey, psilocybin is actually really, really helpful and could help a lot of people.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.
Absolutely. I just went to the doctor because of the kind of like the heart flutters I was getting a lot from anxiety. Yeah. And somebody who, it was a general, like a family practice doctor who also did psychotherapy out of the same office. So I went in there, I had an EKG, and just kind of spoke openly about my depression. I've lived with it. I know how to deal with it. I said, I'm not interested in taking any medication.
Yeah.
So I went through my exam, and they came back to me and said, hey, we'd like to see you next week. So you can just speak with the doctor. So I go home, I get a ping on my, a text message saying my prescription is ready for my antidepressant, which side effects also include
Suicide,
suicidal, ideation, heart attack. It's like, so I called them up and canceled my appointment. I never went back. It's like, if you're not going to listen to me, then what am I going to get from going and talking to you? And then you're just going to write a prescription so you can get paid. So yeah, it's finding the alternatives, whether that's mushrooms or having a very good supportive system, and just and finding what works for you. Some days are better than others, so.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like riding that wave, like this too shall pass. It's like a key affirmation, like just minimize whatever is going on. Like, if you're in that state where everything is a struggle, do the bare minimum. That's enough. Like, you don't have to exceed yourself in that state of mind, and just survive through that phase. And then, make your next move after that. But you said that the boredom is like a trigger to you. And so would you, do you think that it's like that your self-worth is somehow linked to the things that you do and produce, that just existing, just being you isn't enough?
Yes, I have a very, very, very hard time relaxing. My time, like me relaxing, I pull a lot of inspiration from movies and stuff. So at night, I'll kind of lay down and watch a movie. Sometimes I'll be painting while I'm watching a movie or writing. But I feel like there's, we're only here for a limited amount of time. And I have 3 daughters. And I think what's most important to me is to create something that lives on for them, that I created, that I'm always there, and maybe there's a little bit of vanity there, so, yeah, sure, I'd love to be super well known and make some money doing it, but I really want to create something that my kids are proud of, is probably what's most important to me.
Wow. Yeah.
And so the race in time to do that, and I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities at times when I thought that these opportunities would never come back my way. 10 years ago, if you told me I was going to be in this band, I would not believe it, because nothing was going my way musically. And I was a single father with my kids full time. And it's like, there's no way I could do it. And, the universe keeps presenting opportunities. So I'm really hopeful in those opportunities. I can embrace it and take it on, head on.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the vocals are freaking brilliant in this band. Yeah, like absolutely super great. Like that is like, it's not the most innovative music. Like the songs are great, they're really good, but it's something completely new that hasn't been done before. So the standout factor is definitely your vocals.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think there's not left much to create these days, especially with AI, and unless I'm singing to just a bunch of white noise in some
yeah, in a Diamante kind of style,
Right. And I think that's, the best thing that we can do is just create something that feels good to us, and I'm going to attribute a lot of kind of like what I do and what I aspire. What inspires me is, a lot of new wave. I grew up with a lot of new wave and post-punk and early goth that my brother was drilling in, our bedroom that we shared. Freddie Mercury and his brilliance. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that resonates. So that's the kind of stuff that makes me feel good. And it makes me, when I'm writing a song or coming up with a melody or some lyrics, what's going to make me feel good, And I hope that what makes me feel good will make somebody else feel good. So that's really what I hope to capture.
So when you're writing, then, especially your lyrics, do you feel a sense of responsibility to your listeners?
I do, actually. Yeah, I really want to create something that, speaks to somebody. We actually just played a show in Salt Lake City, and a fan who's become a friend has shared something with me for the first time. And I've probably seen him, off and on for about 10 years coming to some of my shows. And in this body of work, he shared with me about a child that he lost years ago at 8 months old, and how some of these songs just kind of like really hit him and has helped him during a dark, because he still struggles with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so to have him kind of tell me something like that, it's super heavy, but I really hope that we can help people in our music and rock and roll way. We're going out and we're having fun. And when you see us live, it's like you're seeing Iggy Pop and the Stooges. I mean, we're all out there. We're running around and flipping and jumping and falling to our knees and getting in people's faces. But the message is that, we're like, we want to be there with you, and we want to help you if we can. And we want to give you a good time and escape, because every day, like we just said, it's, take it day by day. So if that moment listening to our music or coming and seeing us at a show can give you an escape of anything that's troubling you, then that's all I really wish.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Rena?
I think I've been hogging the episode. So
No, that's fine.
Go ahead.
We like to just get off on tangents, and we talk about mental health a lot. So that's where
No, it's good. No, I think it's a beautiful thing. Because a lot of times I'm just kind of talking about, like bands I listen to or something like that, so it's actually really cool to talk about something different,
So as far as, I know you said you just related that one experience that you've had but I'm sure there's probably many of those, right? Because this is the kind of music that definitely connects with people. What's it like when somebody across the world connects with your music, all the way in Las Vegas?
So yeah, we've been getting a lot of kind of like love from, especially, we have in Italy, we're getting a lot of kind of like love there. And of course, within the algorithms of social media, India and Sao Paulo, Brazil.
That's
I don't
amazing.
know, but
Right.
we gotta get there. Yeah. We're huge in Bangladesh. So I think it's awesome. It's amazing that we're in this time that, being a Las Vegas band, and we have the ability within technology to be everywhere,
Yeah.
with 10 years ago, it's like you weren't able to self-release stuff, and now you can really just release stuff and it's everywhere. And it's giving a lot of more opportunity. But within that, it's also, I think, a little bit more of a struggle because there's so much music now,
Oh, yeah.
So it's like trying to grab people's attention, and it's so quick, I always say, like, like Andy Warhol said, we had 15 minutes of fame, but it's really now like 5 seconds.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
people like my son's age, they stream stuff and then they stream like the first 30 seconds and they're on something else already. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as parents, we got to, show our kids like that's what I do. Like, this is how I grew up. This is what I listened to. This is how I experienced it. And,
We're going to sit down and listen to a record, a full vinyl record, start to finish.
Yeah,
You're going to sit there or you get no dinner.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
actually, I like that thinking. My
Yeah.
kid is 6. He's turning 7. My boy is turning 7 in August. But I think I've been doing a pretty good job, like instilling that, like oldies but goldies, classics kind of stuff into
Yeah.
him. Just last week, he was like, I'm like, okay, today is cleaning day. We're going to be cleaning. And this, I kid you not, this was like the conversation that happened was, Mom, can I now finally be the one to vacuum? To which I, of course, was like, I will allow it.
Wow.
and then he goes like, but there has to be a very specific song playing when I do it. Guess what
Oh,
that
really?
song was?
He had a soundtrack
Guess
from
what the
vacuuming.
fucking song was? It was Eye of the Tiger by
Wow.
Survivor.
Wow.
And I had a video of him like, this is the coolest shit ever. Just vacuuming away. It was insane.
That's epic.
So are you planning to take Crashing Wayward out on the road?
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as we can, it's it's hard because it's so expensive now,
Oh yeah.
and then to be able to support yourself and a family and stuff and everything. But that's our number one goal, and that's our number one goal, is to get out there and play for as many people possible. Like I said, that's the only thing I really want to do. I want to write, I want to track, and I want to play. And and everybody in my band feels the same way. So that's going to be the first goal. Hopefully that's going to probably start up in this fall, because the album came out this summer. And then everything has already kind of been pre-booking, earlier in the year. And with COVID, everybody's been on, booked for, So starting this fall, it's going to be kind of like head on, just hopefully relentlessly tracking, writing, and getting out and playing. And hopefully, we'll make it overseas as well too. So don't know where yet, but definitely start regionally, West Coast where we're at, and then hopefully just take it nationally and then the world.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Anything else, Rena?
Got our fingers crossed for the world.
Yes. Thank you.
I think we're running out of time.
I appreciate you taking the time, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me just be vulnerable and share a little bit of my story. So
We so appreciate that.
Yes.
Because you can have the fluffy whatever content as much as you like, and that's good to have sometimes you just want to put your brain into flatline and just listen to jibber jabber. But I personally think that this is a valuable platform to share and actually provide some like peer support to people.
yeah.
Before we go,
cool.
Before we go though, can you drop your socials? Tell us where fans can find you.
Yeah, please find us everywhere at Crashing Wayward. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Threads. Yes, just everywhere. Please follow us, stream us everywhere where you can stream, buy merch, support us, keep us on the road. That goes directly towards us, and we greatly appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Peter. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Anytime. Really enjoyed talking with you.
Be well.
All right. You too.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Peter.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Hello out there.
Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.